Hi, boys and girls. Okay, we're going to begin math. All right, so our I can statement for today is I can count by twos and I can identify numbers as odd or even. Now, you just watched a video on counting by twos. So, if you're still having a little trouble with that, I want you to go back and I want you to watch that video and really catch and grasp that counting by twos. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and continue with the lesson. Now, before we start, we're going to look at some vocabulary words. Our first vocabulary word is pairs. So I'm going to write pairs. All right. So when you see the word pairs, what do you think about? Well, you should think about the number 2, because if you have a pair of something, that means you have 2 of something. If you have a pair, it's 2. So there are some things that come in pairs. For example, you have those. What are those? They're shoes. You're right. So shoes come in pairs. So if you have a pair of shoes, that means you have 1, 2 shoes. So shoes come in pairs, and pairs means 2. All right. Another example, gloves. Gloves also come in pairs, and remember, pairs means 2. All right. The next vocabulary word we're going to talk about is even. Okay. So what does it mean if something is even? If something is even, that means that it can be put into equal groups. If I have an even amount of something, that means I'm not going to have anything left over. So let's look at some numbers and figure out whether they're even or not. All right, so my first number is 2. So my number 2, I'm going to draw 2 circles. 1, 2. Now remember, even means that I'm not going to have anything left over. I'm going to have an equal group. So I'm going to loop my pairs. Alright, so this is my loop. So I loop the pair. I don't have anything left over. So that means that 2 is even. Alright. My next number, let's say we could do 4. So I'm going to draw 4 circles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, you're going to loop the pairs. So that's 1, 2. Alright, so if you look, I don't have anything left over. So 4 is also an even number. Alright, now let's look at the number 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Notice now when I'm drawing that I always stack them up. That way that I can loop my pairs easily to see if I have anything left over. So I'm going to loop this pair, loop this pair, loop this pair. There's nothing left over, so that means that 6 is an even number as well. Alright, we'll do one more. Let's look at the number 8. So I'm going to draw 8 circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so we're going to loop the pairs. Again, nothing left over, so 8 is also an even number. Now we're going to look at another vocabulary word, and that is odd. Now, odd likes to be difficult. It likes to, when you have an odd number, something always it likes to hang out by itself. It does not like to be looped in a pair. So, for example, if my number is 3, I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3. And remember, you go back and you loop the pairs. So look at that. But there's nothing here. There's nothing to loop because it's only 1. It's odd. It's hanging out by itself. So that means that 3 is an odd number. All right. Now let's look at 5. So I'm going to draw 5. Remember to stack them up. Okay, so loop the pair, loop the pair. There it is again. That's the odd one hanging out by itself. You can't loop it. It's not. It has nothing to loop with. So 5 is also an odd number. All right, let's try another number. This time we're gonna try 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Loop the pairs. Look at that. It's hanging out oddly by itself. So that means that 7 is an odd number. Alright, what about if we do 9? Alright, look at that. Alright, so remember loop the pair. So remember pair means 2. Alright, now look at that. It's odd hanging out by itself. So that makes the whole number odd. So 9 is an odd number. Alright, now let's see. How about if we have a 2-digit number? So let's look at 14. And we're going to figure out whether 14 is even or is it odd. So here's a trick. Whenever you have more than 1 digit, you always look at the last number to figure out whether your number is even or odd. So we're going to do it both ways just to see. But for number 14, the only thing I have to do is look at that 4. And I can draw 4 circles. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I can group or loop my pairs. And I see that 4 is even. So that makes 14 even, because remember I said whenever you have at least 2 or more digits, you always look at the last number to help you identify whether that number is even or odd. So just to check and make sure, I'll go ahead and draw the 14 circles just to check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We're going to loop the pairs. And look at that. Told you 14 is an even number. Remember, it was way quicker to draw just the 4 circles than having to draw all these circles. So whenever you have more than 1 digit, always look at the last number. Let's give another example. So say my number is 24. Alright, remember, you look at that last number. So that last number is 4, so I just need to draw 4. I'll loop my pairs. There's nothing hanging out by itself. There's nothing that's alone. So that makes 24 an even number. Okay, so look at this, guys. What if my number, remember, it doesn't matter how long your number is, you always look at that last number. So what if my number was 14,627? Now, I don't know about you all, but I do not have time to draw 14,627 circles. So I'm just going to look at the last number, which is 7. And that will help me determine whether this long number is even or odd. So for 7, I can just draw 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, you guys can see that? Alright, so that's a loop in a pair. That's a pair. That's a pair. You see that odd one hanging out by itself. So that means that 14,627 is an odd number. Okay? So that was odd and even. Now you all are getting ready to play even and odd game, a quick little game just to help you go over even and odd again. And then you all are going to do your textbook page, and then you're going to do your lesson check, and you'll be done with math for today. All right, guys. See you tomorrow.